hard on your discipline, on being attention to detail. This whole camp, everybody put so much heart and soul into this, and you guys, just to come out and have all three phases of the game really make so many mistakes. I mean, was it almost shocking, disheartening? How can you put it into words?
No, I would say just the momentum of, that's, where the good teams, they don't let one mistake turn into a bunch. They don't let it kind of go throughout the whole team. They can nip it in the bud and move forward, fix their mistakes. So we can do that. We know that. We've practiced on doing those things. So we just have to be better next time. There's no way around it, no excuses. We just have to be better.
Baker and the Browns clearly have some work to do, losing by 32 points to the Ravens. Baker's 4.6 QBR on third down yesterday was the third worst in the NFL. Browns still have the longest current streak of opening day losses in NFL history. Super Bowl champ Brian Clark joins the debate. RC, top of the morning to you. Or actually, it's more like afternoon. Whatever.
Good to see you guys.
Stephen A., should we be crushing Baker today? I mean, do you think that's fair week one?
Well, it might not be fair to most people, but it's definitely fair to him. And you're not crushing him, you're crushing his performance. And that's what people have to understand. It's not like you're performing in a closet in the privacy of your own home and nobody's watching you. People are not only watching you, they're paying to watch you. And for you to go out there and to talk as much as he has talked in the past and to perform as impotently as he has performed, it is a problem. Yesterday, what are the numbers here? 21 for 39, 189 yards, a quarterback rate, a QBR of 33. These are god-awful numbers. It is absolutely disgusting. Or the more appropriate word would be it's offensive. As an offensive talent for him at the quarterback position to be producing to the fashion that he has. Keep in mind that this is a guy that is a former number one overall pick, and he's going up against a guy that was the last pick in the first round of the NFL draft. And look at the difference between the two, Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield, not just in terms of skill set, but also development, how much you have improved. And once again, Ryan Clark, I brought this up, and Max Kellerman, I brought this up. Y'all will remember this. How many times have I said last year that Baker Mayfield has more commercials than wins? How many times did I say that? I said that week after week after week. Because
Stephen A., he has more commercials than QBR points right now.
But that's right. But are you ready for this? What do we see yesterday? Hulu has live sports. And who do we see? Baker Mayfield. And so the point is that once again, we see the advertisements, we see the endorsement dollars, and you know what? His bravado and his talk and his chitter-chattering, that gets him money and it gets him endorsement. It produces everything but wins. And if I'm Odell Beckham Jr., if I'm Jarvis Landry and these boys, at some point in time, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm going like this. I don't believe there's any slippage in my skills. So why is it that we can't seem to do anything? It's Hugh Jackson 1 minute, it's Freddie Kitchens another, now it's Kevin Stefanski. But the common denominator is Baker Mayfield. At some point in time, and I'm not giving up on him, I'm not calling him a scrub or anything like that. I'm simply saying, my brother, the production that you are putting forth doesn't match the hype that precedes it. The hype considerably outweighs your level of production. And at some point in time, this season, we're going to sit up here and say, this is it for Baker Mayfield. If he doesn't do anything this year, Cleveland might need to move in a different direction.
Look, I think here's the danger for Baker, okay? And I said this last year. At a certain point, if you're on a team of ballers on offense, the guy with a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball, if dudes like Odell start to look at you and go, he's not a baller, now you're in trouble. And I think they started to think that last year. Coming out of college, I thought Baker was going to be great. Sometimes you're right. I thought Sam Bradford was going to be great. Sorry, sometimes you're wrong. I thought I was wrong. He wasn't great. Sometimes you're right. I thought Deshaun Watson would be. I think he's fantastic. Baker, so far, I was wrong about. I think the reason is he's like a guy at that size. You look at Russell Wilson, you look at Drew Brees, and they both had tremendous success. They're all-time greats. Russell Wilson not only is very smart, and even if that ball isn't always pretty coming out of his hands, it's effective. He also runs, what, a 4.5, something like that, 40? Baker Mayfield runs a 4.8 plus 40. He's not fast like Russell Wilson. He's not going to outrun the defense. Drew Brees is the most accurate passer of all time. I've seen the video where he's more accurate than an Olympic marksman, like with the bow and arrow. He's more accurate than an archer. Right? Much more, by the way. That's not, Baker Mayfield was accurate in college. He's not Drew Brees accurate. So when you don't have a skill like that jumps out at you, as Russell Wilson and Drew Brees do, and even they have to play smart, right? He has to strike the right balance. He's not Russell Wilson. He's not Drew Brees. He has to strike the right balance of brains and guts, and he's been unable to do it. Now, the reason I won't kill him today is he has a legitimate excuse, which is, it's a whole new turnover on the coaching staff, not for the first time in his young career. And they haven't had a preseason. And they're playing the best team in the division, by far, a team that was among the Super Bowl favorites last year before the playoffs started. And one of the best players in football under center, or at least playing quarterback, for the other team, in a great organization with a defense and everything, right? So I'm not going to hold too much against him about yesterday. But Baker Mayfield, in terms of his career with the Browns, I think is on thin ice. And since he's not Russell Wilson and he's not Drew Brees, he better figure out who Baker Mayfield is quick, fast, and in a hurry.
You know what? Both of you guys are wrong. We should not be crushing Baker Mayfield this morning. You know why? Because Baker Mayfield isn't that talented. So, in turn, it is our fault, not his fault. It's my fault that I thought he should have went #1 overall. It's my fault that I expected him to be a superstar, that I expected him to be a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback, because when you look at it, he's not that talented. Now, what you were right about, Max, is he's not Russell Wilson. Even though they're the same height, he doesn't actually have that type of arm strength. He doesn't have that type of improvisation skills. He doesn't have that type of create a second play with my legs and push the ball down the field. He doesn't have that type of talent. We thought he was Drew Brees excellent. We thought he was Drew Brees accurate. We were wrong, because everybody that plays for Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma is that accurate, because they're throwing to better players than the other team. They're throwing to wide open people that have been schemed open by Lincoln Riley, who seems to be able to take any quarterback, and now he recruits great ones, seems to be able to take any quarterback and make sure that they are productive. So we were wrong. When Odell Beckham Jr. is running an inside route or a square in and the ball's thrown behind him, even though he has Marcus Peters beat, that's on Baker Mayfield. When Odell Beckham Jr. gets deep behind Marcus Peters late in the game, has 2 steps on him, and we're just throwing a regular go ball, that's on Baker Mayfield. When you look early on in the game and 2 or 3 of his passes are tipped on the first series, that's the height of Baker Mayfield. That's the release point of Baker Mayfield. One of those passes are intercepted by Marlon Humphrey. So we can't crush him anymore. From now on, we need to look at Baker Mayfield in a different way. See, what we were looking at him as was the Heisman Trophy winner and the first overall pick. Let's stop that. Let's look at him as the guy who had to walk on to 2 different teams in college. The guy who wasn't good enough to play at Texas Tech, so he went to Oklahoma as a walk-on and earned his way. Maybe if we start seeing him there, if we start seeing him from the bottom level of his talent, we can now appreciate the things that he did well. We can appreciate the times that he did excel, the times that he was successful, because we have to now realize that he's not that talented. And that's okay.
But you just crushed him worse than, you just crushed him in the worst way. You just crushed him in the worst kind of way.